very good morning to you, dear listener. Welcome to Perspectives, a current affairs discussion program on Agate Radio 95.5 Star FM, Makudi, Benue State. Today on Perspectives, as part of our setting agenda for some sectors, key sectors in the economy as we begin the new year, this morning we are focusing on the agriculture sector. Our discussion focuses on setting agenda for the agriculture sector, and I've been joined here in the studio by two panelists who will lead conversation. The importance of the agriculture sector cannot be overemphasized, and at a time, Nigerians are grappling with high food inflation. And of course, Benue being the food basket of the nation, have we sustained our status as the food basket of the nation? And if we are not sustaining, what can we do to sustain our status as the food basket of the nation, to take a lead in the agriculture sector, to meet the food security needs of our state, the country, and Nigeria? At the Joseph Sawuantaka University, Makudi, Professor Godwin Abu, who is our guest on the program this morning. Welcome to Agate Radio, Prof.
Good morning, listeners, and Happy New Year.
Thank you very much. Happy New Year to you. Of course, the year is not old enough, so Happy New Year is still acceptable. Let me also welcome the panelist on the program, who is a Commissioner for Agriculture and Food Security in Benue State, Professor Moses Ogbaji. Welcome to Perspectives, Commissioner.
Thank you very much, listeners. Happy New Year.
Thank you for joining us. Dear listener, thank you for joining us on this edition. And if you are tuning in for the first time, Nathaniel, Nongu, welcoming you to this edition, which is the Wednesday edition of Perspectives. Right away, later we avail you the agriculture sector in the outgone year 2024.
Thank you, Nathaniel. The outgone year is one for which we can say that we made some substantial progress. Substantial in the sense that the key traditional challenges of the sector were given prior attention vis-a-vis the challenge securing inputs. The outgone year, that was adequately addressed. The ministry and all the MDAs participate inputs as the case will be. So I think that before now had been a major challenge, but that seemed not to be. So at least a considerable effort was made in that direction, getting good quality inputs for farmers, which was very, very key. I think that was, for me, that is a take-home, which is again true because that underscores any productivity that we set to attain. So for that alone, I think it was a very good year. We are not going to relapse. We are going to build on it. Thank you.
Okay. Nationally, you seem to narrow down to Benue, but on a national level, did you see that the policies of the government, federal government in agriculture in any way made a progress that is substantial in the just concluded year?
Well, at the macro level, the impact of the government policy seemed not to be working. Because one, the economy is still characterized with very high food inflation. As we speak now, our staples, yam and co, I wonder how long they are going to stay with us. Rising food prices underscores the fact that we still have a challenge. On the average, too, productivity at farmers' level is still very low, and a lot of things like that. So all this now make the handlers at the national level not to have scored the desired point, as the case where food inflation is still the big problem. If you go to the markets now, the prices of food items is still on the increase.
Okay, so food inflation, that's an issue. Now, we'll talk more about that later, but let me come to you now, Commissioner. You superintend over the agriculture sector in Benue State. Give us an assessment of what is your assessment of the progress made or otherwise.
24, I feel very proud because as a Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, we have made substantial progress. The whole credit goes to His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Benue State, Reverend Father Dr. Haise Yume, who had made sure that, like he said, all the agricultural inputs are now available all year round. And even up till now, anything you want to buy, you can come to the ministry, both fertilizers, both improved seeds. The major achievement that I made was this drumming to the ears of the Benue farmers that they should stop using grains. They should start using improved seeds. This has sunk, and most of the farmers now come and buy improved seeds. So wherever I go, any part of Gumawase, Izakibia, anywhere, or anywhere I go, Igumale, I ask, what has been happening? They are very happy. I want to report to you that their price per hectare, their yield per hectare, has improved. Their income have improved. This you can prove. You can go into any part of Benue State, I am sure of this. The yield per hectare has increased, and the farmers are now smiling to the banks, those that are farmers. This I can confirm. On this, you can see that even this year, 2025, His Excellency the Governor is giving more emphasis to agriculture, which we will talk about later. So things are going to improve. Thank you.
Okay. Professor Abu, let's look into the challenges bedeviling the agriculture sector in the country and, of course, Benue. What are the readily ones that you could point to at this time?
Okay, the challenges for agricultural sector seem to be general across board, vis-a-vis one infrastructure. The road network, for instance, that leads and connects these farming communities in almost all the states, they are in very deplorable conditions, and for that, moving inputs and even farm produce out, still it's a major challenge. There are some advisory services or input can go to them. With such communities, those infrastructure is a major challenge and needs to be addressed. Then we talk about irrigation systems. You see, before now, the philosophy behind the irrigation system stems from the fact that it is very easy to have crop failure when relying on exogenous factors like rainfall that is beyond the control of the farmers. Consequently, like in our colleagues in northern Nigeria, Kano, Jigawa, Gombe, elsewhere, they are river basins. They have elaborate irrigation facilities. So they farm all year round. And because they farm all year round, they are very busy. But for some other places that are dependent on rain-fed, the challenges are enormous. And one would have desired that these irrigation facilities are spread across. For the first time, my commissioner is here. They are participating in dry season farming. But before this time, somebody just fetching water and pouring on a small patch of field. And that really cannot bring any much development as the case is. Then the challenge of storage. Storage is one of the critical marketing utilities, which is lacking. Now, Nathaniel, you know that the problem of food and nutrition security stems from the fact that productivity is low. Aside productivity being low, we are having very high post-harvest losses. Then a lot again cannot be stored. If you go now, we don't need to go far. Go to the railway market and see how much quantity of fruits and vegetables that cannot be handled now, that the market cannot clear, all gets perished as the case will be. So storage is very, very critical, and closely related to the storage facility is that of processing too. Going forward, like my commissioner is here now, we have to develop a robust, will be greatly addressed. With these challenges now, I think if addressed, a lot of improvement will come in the value chain or in the food production systems.
Okay. Professor Ogbaji, Commissioner, you have listened to the challenges identified by your co-panelists. Are we facing those challenges in Benue State, and what is your ministry doing with regards to addressing them?
Okay. Well, I will add to the challenges.
Yes. Before you speak on how you are addressing them, maybe.
Yes, he has listed them, but the challenges to agricultural development are many. I can write a book here on this, but I will mention a few. One of them is the use of poor seeds for planting by farmers all over the world, all over Nigeria. Do you know this is very common even in the southwestern states, where they even have the agricultural institutes like IITA, which is a world class, is the best in the world. But I challenge them at our agricultural council. In the south west, they don't use improved seeds and grains for planting. They don't use improved seeds, and they just to assess them from IITA, where we are getting these seeds from. They don't enter there, and they agree with me. So most of the farmers in Nigeria are using poor seeds, grains. Subsistence farming, there are no tractors, no machines for farming. Seasonal nature of agriculture, in fact, is rain-fed, which is not enough. In Nigeria, most farmers most states are practicing rain-fed agriculture, which is not enough. And in Benue, we have seen a positive correlation between dry season and communal clashes. When there is dry season, there are more communal clashes. When it is farming season, there are less. You can prove this. Now, the communal clashes, lack of processing facilities. Problem of middlemen, you cannot underrate this, veranda. They constitute a big problem to agriculture, who we will talk about. And then, lack of land to women. Women do not have ready access to land. I can continue to list and list them. Therefore, in Benue State, we are all witnesses to the fact that one of the factors hindering agricultural productivity and production is this farmer header clashes. And His Excellency is tackling it headlong. I want to report to you that many of the IGP were addressing the problem of using grains for planting. We are now involved in dry season farming. That is why the deliberate policy is there in the agricultural policy of Benue State that women should be given access to land, to farm, because they also do a lot of farming. And then the problem of middlemen, I'm presently meeting with them. Selling a bag for 50,000, I say today you are selling your bag at 30,000. So the veranda are making more profit than the farmers. Therefore, where the price of foodstuffs will be bought. And then the excesses produced by farmers during the harvest season. You can see, if you go to Boko now, His Excellency is already fencing what do you call it? Where they will store crops, the grains. They are already fencing where they will store grains there now. I will remember the name. The farm reservoir where we store our grains is already fencing it. You will help me, there is a name for it.
Strategic reserve.
Grain reserve. Where there is another name for it. Grain reserve.
Is it a silo?
The silos. Yes, the silos. We're already fencing them. There are many of them in Benue State. Governor is already fencing them to make sure that he puts our excess harvest during the dry season in those and store them. Then when there is hunger, he brings them to sell to farmers as subsidiaries. So
okay.
These are many of the issues that the governor is tackling, and we're handling them headlong.
Okay. Commissioner, you pointed out, for instance, the challenge of herdsmen attacks on farming communities. And in your opinion, that I'm quoting your words, that many IDPs are returning to farming communities. Are there some of these communities you would like to identify? Why? Because in our recent investigation and report with farmers in community, this is harvest season. Many complain that they are not able to even access their communities for harvest, and crops that are ready for harvest are being destroyed by rampaging herdsmen. Are there some of these communities where you verify that they have returned for farming?
Yes, I will remember one or two. And it's from the one commissioner. They did a reception last week where the farmers returned and they were having a reception. It is in the news. They were there and they were celebrating. I heard it in the news. In Oju, the farmers they put a crisis. Obunta, the farmers are returning. They are going back to their farms. Mutually, they are farming. There is no crisis there. These are the few I can remember. There are many more, but the truth of the matter is that some farmers are returning back to their places. People who are involved, like SEMA, I'm sure they are listening. They should phone in because they recently took some IGPs to their camps and they were doing celebration in that place. People who did it should please inform us. I heard it in the news. Up to 3 places.
We are saying, Professor Abu, in terms of irrigation farming, for instance, dry season farming, what are the prospects of Benue State with regards to dry season farming?
Well, my commissioner is in here. I was thinking that the commissioner would be the one because he's on the driving seat. They are doing quite a lot.
Yes, you are a policy expert. So speak on this and we'll get to hear his one side of it.
Yes, you see, for irrigation is a very, very technical mode of production. Because one, it requires technology deployment. And before the technology is being deployed, there must be adequate and elaborate land preparation. And depending on how the mode, because the whole philosophy about irrigation is that moisture, water availability. How do you make this water available? And we are using irrigation because if you rely on the sporadic nature of rainfall, you are going to have a lot of crop failure. So this water now, it could be on a well laid out farmland with canals and with pumps now to water the crops once moisture stress or drought is there. The major problems we're having for low productivity on our farms is that on the farmer's plot, they just farm that rice itself. So such land preparation, removing all the stumps, laying it flat, and making provision to deploy water either from a reservoir or from the natural body of water or from aquifer, whichever method. Some again, pipes are laid underneath so that at periodic intervals water now is released. So all these are technologies that will be deployed on such fields. We have a low-hanging fruit, which is the river basin, the lower Benue facilities, which I don't know, maybe the commissioner will talk about how far the farmers or the state will liaise with such opportunities, as the case will be. So as it stands, basically, it is very technical. Land preparation, lands are put together. It's not you don't do irrigation in scattered fields, in small plots. You will not get the economies of scale. The land is pulled together, then it is centrally developed. Then the mode of delivery for water from either the dam or from the river source is well laid out. So those are the things that we require. And to the extent to which it is available in the state, I think the commissioner may wish to comment on them.
Okay, Commissioner.
Yeah.
Let me quote the government of Niger State, which said they have overtaken Benue State as a food basket of the nation. Is Benue maintaining its food basket status? And what is our prospects in irrigation farming?
Thank you. For this is an argument that we have always argued in our meetings. For information, I am the chairman, Commissioners of Agriculture in Nigeria. So anytime we go for meetings, the Niger State Commissioner will come to me that he has overtaken me. Even Taraba and Nasarawa,
Yes.
they will come to me, and I told them that if not because, that I will not answer you. If a son wakes up one day and tells the father that I'm now your father, you don't need to answer such a son. But if not because I'm a good father, I will demonstrate something. Foodstuffs leaving Benue State to other states, nation. Sir, go to the highways and see the number of trailers of yams that are leaving Benue State, the number of trailers of gare that I would have stopped. Then they will laugh and say they are only joking. Benue State still remains the food basket of the nation. And they appreciate our efforts. They know what we are doing. Especially when they come here for conferences and they see what we eat. I will mention this state. I was in one state in the north. We went for a meeting there and I saw the level of hunger. And I called the commissioner and I told him that this is unacceptable. I don't want to call the state in the far north. And he agreed with me that there is extreme hunger here in this state. So to the extent that if you are eating and you stand up to wash your hand, this Amajari they have taken your food. So, sir.
But that alone, sorry to butt in, that alone could not be classified as a hunger indices because we are told that in the north is often a practice. So
no,
if
sir.
you are basing on that alone,
even the food they serve you pay for 1,000 naira. If you buy 1,000, one lump is very small. It's what I looked at and I said there's extreme hunger here. Before you eat and be satisfied, you buy amala up to 3,000. Because the lumps for 1,000 is very small, very tiny. So, in order not to waste time, sir, the people in other states are coming. Like I asked the Niger man, he has bought a lot of tractors. I asked him at the last agricultural council in Calabar. He said he presented a paper that is now becoming the food bank, and I asked, and they agree with me. You have bought tractors, you have planted. You have not harvested. What indices are you using now to say you are the food basket? You have only planted. In fact, tractors can bring about low yields in agriculture if not properly used. It's possible that the excessive use of tractorization can bring about low yields. Excessive use of tractorization. Too many tractors. So what? And they agree with me that he has not brought any data to show you. So there is nothing for him to show that it's the food basket. But here we are going with actual facts of what we are producing in Benue, and you are seeing it, and people are coming to buy. So I leave that one for us. Please, let's not criticize ourselves. We are doing well, and when we go out, they appreciate our efforts. That Benue State remains the food basket of the nation, even though people are chasing us, and we need to work harder. Simple as ABC.
okay.
Coming to irrigation.
Very well.
To irrigation. Is due to the dynamism of His Excellency the Governor of Benue State that were enlisted in dry season farming on the 6th of September 2023. In fact, we just went to the Honorable Minister of Agriculture. He paid a courtesy call, and from there, he said he was going to reward us for visiting him. I said we should rush. That day, from 4th to 6th, we did not sleep in. We slept in my office to put the documents together because it's cut us like this. 3 days, 4th to 6th. So I rushed with the documents, and we enrolled in dry season farming on the 6th. I can remember that day because it was a date I had to carry cartons myself to climb upstairs.
All right.
So now, we are now doing dry season farming. We have 34 irrigable sites.
Good. So point them out across which parts of the state are we practicing
there are
dry season farming.
But the river Benue traverses all parts of Benue State. All the local governments that it traverses are involved in dry season farming.
No.
You have in Obusa.
Apologies, please, Honorable Commissioner. When you said they are in Makurdi, is it in Makurdi that they're practicing the dry season farming? And at the same time, you said the river traverses all the local governments where they're practicing. What kind of crops are they cultivating with the practice of the dry season farming? Well, let me get you right. Is it in Makurdi that the dry season farming is being practiced by the 34 groups you say have been enlisted?
Okay, sir. I want to let you know
Yes.
that if you go to the river banks of Makurdi, the crops that they cultivate more during the dry season is vegetables. If you go to the site in Ogbaji, their only emphasis is cassava. If you go to Obusa, which is another farm site, I'm remembering the ones that I know, their own is rice. If you go to Kasinala, one is maize, there's another one for rice, agata. So in all of them, they are all 34 in number, and they cultivate different crops in Benue State. Thank you.
Okay. So are you satisfied? Are you satisfied with the results of what you are seeing, if at all they are cultivating, as you have said, the crops? Are you satisfied with the output of the dry season farming?
I am not satisfied. We want to improve on it this year. Listen to me, sir.
Yes, I am listening.
Last year, the machinery, the federal government did not give us the machinery, the pumping machines and all that for farming. It's the farmers that are doing it themselves. This year, they are promised to provide the machinery, the generators and whatever for dry season farming. So we are going to improve over what we did last year. And they promised to provide more fertilizer. Only last year, they only gave us 5 trucks of fertilizers, which were distributed to farmers. And then chemicals, about 50 cartons of chemicals, which were not enough. This year, they are promised to improve over it. And therefore, we expect that this year's dry season will be better. Moreover, in addition to what the federal government is doing, we also have our own Benue State dry season farming, which is in the 3 senatorial zones of Benue State.
The one you spoke about of the 34 groups, is it of the federal government or is it of the state government? Now that you have brought it up, they seem to be.
The one that is 34 is the one for federal government.
Okay.
Locations. But now, in addition to that, we intend to, as a ministry, have a big farm in one of the senatorial zones, in each of the senatorial zones of Benue State. And there's already a proposal to that effect.
Okay. Professor Abu, you, as an agricultural economist and policy expert in this area, you interact with a lot of persons across the country. This argument of Niger State King Benue as a food basket of the nation, help us understand is that to what extent this may be true and what may be the factors that is making other states overtake Benue State.
Assuming claiming to overtake.
But they have said it, so okay. Okay.
Claiming to overtake.
Let me have your thoughts on this, Professor Abu.
Yes, I think the popular slogan that better soup na money.
Yes.
You see, agriculture requires a lot of investment. And one of the challenges is the high cost dependent. So now, with one of the characteristics of smallholder farmers or for third world countries is that the amount of fertilizer tractors in their farming system is very negligible. My commissioner here will agree to the fact that when he came into office, he didn't meet one single functional tractor, not one. And we said that, look.
But anyway, they even, I don't know where you get your record, but just speak on our fact check may prove otherwise.
Yes.
To say that one single track, because before the government came in, they were all of that. Do you have evidence to prove to
Nathaniel,
that?
I am quoting the commissioner who is here.
Okay.
I am quoting him.
Yes.
This is, and he made that statement here. So I would have wished you would have raised this objection.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, why we're on?
No, that time he made this is his assertion.
Okay.
You understand?
Anyway, speak on.
Now,
Yes.
this is a government that that's Niger State now.
Yes.
That said, look, farm labor, I'm going to ease it. I'm going to substitute manual labor. No longer are we going to rely on muscles.
Yes.
We're going to use now machines.
Yes.
And with machines, more land area now will be cultivated. Nathaniel, one of the major problems we're having for agricultural productivity, low productivity, is that very few, the land under cultivation, we need to open up more lands, and open up more lands, bringing more area into cultivation cannot be done manually. Consequently, the assumption that by opening up more land, ceteris paribus, all things being constant, he's going to double or multiple just that investment alone, comparative statics, it is on the basis. But the commissioner here is saying that that they have only planted, that they have not harvested, and that there was no basis for this. But on the basis of the investment in that sector alone, because if you now look, Niger State government, I don't know what percentage of their budget goes into agriculture, but spending that on machines alone, it's what is informing the position now that, look, I am likely to take over as a food basket of the nation. So from the policy dimension, he had invested a lot of capital in the agricultural sector. And one of that capital injected is addressing a very, very important challenge, and that is farm labor. Farm labor in our rural communities today, we have very high farm labor cost, one of the highest farm labor costs around. If you go now, Nathaniel, in some communities, women are passing hoe in between their legs to make ridges, just because the young bodied men had left the rural community. In some other communities, they had to wait for farm labor in another community to come and provide the labor for them. Now we have a government in Niger that had now provided those machines. And with that machines now, it is assumed that, of course, all things being constant, more area taking over the food basket.
Okay, now, as an expert, speak to us, in what ways will the government make...
One, the first aspect is the market development. The market now, the amount of goods and services, we are having very high post-harvest losses in our market. Now, processing, for instance, processing requires that you change the form by the consumers, as the case will be. What do I mean? Look at cassava, for instance. Cassava is not traded as tuber. Cassava is processed. If you now have a situation where you do not have the technologies to process these items, it becomes a major problem. So producing a lot of them and not being able to process them will be a challenge, as the case will be. Now, look at the issue of export. Now, the aggregators, the farm processors, also needs to know what constitutes exportable standards, so that they can also now adapt it at the level for which. So once this is done now, it now goes back now to a send signal now to the production systems. What to produce for the market? What will the market require? As it stands now, look at the case for rice. The varieties that is cultivated for rice. The farm, when I was coordinating a rice project for USAID, the variety that was desired that makes the rice commodity appealing, that looks like foreign rice, is the Faro 44. So we set out to see that all varieties are Faro 44. But again, too, in a lot of the communities, it is not, they don't have that variety, like the commissioner had said. They were planting their own previous seeds, their previous harvest. Consequently, they didn't have that addition. So the market sends a signal of what should be done. Now, as we stand to our markets, farmers, just like you complain about the marketing middlemen, they still intentionally adulterate the products. Intentionally. Product quality. So all these things now are all the investment that we need to put in place to ensure that we have a wholesome leap in the food chain development that we are envisaging.
Sarah, Makode, Benue State. We are focusing on setting agenda for the agriculture sector in 2025. And leading the conversation here in the studio is an agricultural Godwin Abu, and of course the Commissioner for Agriculture and Food Security in Benue State, Professor Moses.
Honorable.
Also here. And at 10 o'clock, you may phone in. The line through which you can reach us to participate on the program is 0814-335-9292. The number once again is 0814-335-9292. In the meantime, the line which is available for SMS and on WhatsApp through which you can participate is 0912-699-9404. The number, I take it once again, is 0912-699-9404. You may log on to our website on www.iGateRadioTV.com to listen to us and access other content of iGate Radio as well. We're available on Radio Garden and on social media platforms where our content is streaming. You can also download the iGate Radio and TV app from Google Play Store, a one-stop app that avails you the platform of the radio, the television, online, as well as the newspaper. We are on all these platforms to serve you beyond boundaries. Kindly join us to be a part of our conversation here. Commissioner, I am with you now, and let's respond to, let me have your response to some of the areas that require critical investment for the agriculture sector to thrive in the state, the extent to which you have done the investment as highlighted by your co-panelist, Professor Abu.
In the year 2025, we want to improve on having more tractors and more machines. The governor is already on top of this and is going to bring in more tractors and more machines. One thing with our governor is that he does some of these things silently. If I tell you the number of tractors that have gone to farmers through AgriSat and other organizations, you'll be surprised. But he does them quietly. Doesn't make noise like many of the governors are doing.
Maybe let me interrupt you. I think for the purpose of in the media, when you say someone is doing something silently, and anyway, he's doing it silently, which is why you may want to speak to us about it. Like the issue of tractor you mentioned. There is a time Governor Umar Bago of Niger State assembled tractors, huge number of tractors we saw in the field. Our governor was there, and in his remarks, he appreciated the effort of the Niger State government. So why attend the function a governor is doing in the open in that sector, and you are doing yours and nothing is heard of it?
It has to do with your individual character. What you think you want to do. There are some billionaires in your house that you will not know that they are billionaires. But there are some people who have 1,000 naira and they will shout that they are very rich.
Okay.
It has to do with your personal character, how you live your life. Some people prefer to do their things quietly and let the results come and people see. Others prefer that they advertise what they are seeing. Individual character difference, which is acceptable. I want to report to you that a lot of tractors have gone out to farmers through AgriSat, IFAD, Fadama, through the former Bernada. But those things, we don't make noise about them. There is already negotiation at the highest level, and the tractors will soon arrive. Now, when there are more tractors to remove the drudgery in agriculture, to make the youth more interested in agriculture, the next thing His Excellency is looking at is processing. Anytime I stop at Yande roundabout, I weep. Sir, you need to go to Yande roundabout, go to the back as if you want to ease yourself, and you see the quantum of agricultural products that are wasted. Women, when they keep them down the road till evening and nobody buys, they just go to the back and throw them away. Heaps. The governor wants to tackle that processing. Then, the next thing we want to do is to upscale livestock production. Livestock production. And I want to report to you, this has already been approved by the ESCO. Very soon, all the local government areas will be participating in agriculture. Yesterday, I had a meeting with advisors on agriculture. Local government areas are now going to keep poultry, a number we give it to them, which they will keep and they will be monitored. They will employ youths, the local government areas, the 23 local governments. During the farming season, they will also be required to have at least 5 hectares of their chosen crop. So we are talking of improving livestock farming. And then we want to tackle this veranda issue. And there's a paper on it already to have a marketing board. If these things are done, you will see that agriculture, Benue State, the performance will be more transparent to everybody.
When you mentioned the issue of veranda, the past administration did introduce standard sacks that were meant to be measurement acceptable in Benue markets. Did your ministry sustain that initiative?
We did, but what the veranda people do is that those standard sacks, instead of selling it 50,000, or as the case may be, they say farmers should sell it at 30,000. And since the farmers are bringing a lot of those quantities to the market in bulk, they cannot sell it to individuals. They have to wait for people who come from outside. And the veranda people are already meeting with the outsiders. Say, do not buy more than 30,000. I have gone to the markets, I have seen it myself. We have experimented on this. So we have done enough research. So we are meeting with the veranda on how to tackle. There is a need for immediate constitution of a marketing board in Benue State to check the activities of the veranda.
Would you ask, you are an agricultural economist, so help us understand the dynamics of this middleman, the veranda, which the commissioner seems to have spoken about over and over, and what we can do with regards to ensuring that farmers in Benue State get a value for their farm produce.
Yeah, you see, here they express some important concerns, but that is not to say the veranda don't play useful roles. In fact, without those marketing intermediaries, there will be no marketing. One, who is the boss? They even loan money to these farmers, as the case will be. The whole idea is an important challenge. The whole idea of the value chain is that all the actors, and you know that the soybean is going to Nestle. You as a farmer, you know how much Nestle is offering, and all the actors like that. But as the case stands now, the farmer in one market now does not know where his soybean is going to. Somebody has to assemble it and takes it out, as the case will be. So it is a very, very complex system that it will be difficult, because they also have a lot of political power in those markets, as the case will be. We had some years back, we did some political economy study, and we discovered that the veranda is intricately connected to the farmer. Some of them too, they are from the same villages. Nathaniel, take it for instance now. A farmer who wants to sell a goat, and before going to the market, some people had gone to his farm to maybe do some ridges.
Yes.
And he said that he's going to the market quickly to sell the goat and come to offset the cost of the farm operations. On getting to the market, the non-indigenous trader that had come, on seeing the goat and knowing that the farmer is desperate, offers a price that is very ridiculous. A goat that should go for like 50,000 is offering the farmer 15,000 and making the farmer look miserable, say that this goat does not born very well, and like that. So what that farmer will do now is to handle that goat, hand over to his own indigenous community person that, look, this is the goat, this is how much I want it sold. The Miranda man in turn now give his own money advance to the farmer to go and offset this in her. And he said, okay, I want this goat sold for 40,000. And the Miranda now, who has the time and all it takes to engage the non-indigenous trader now, say, look, The non-indigenous trader that come, this goat, I'm going to sell it for 80,000. And they haggle. The marketing system is such that the buyer will price a rabbit, the seller will charge an elephant. They will higgle and haggle, then maybe an antelope. It is the baranda now that has the skill to negotiate that fair price to see that the farmer now gets whatever he wants, as the case will be. Otherwise, the local farmer cannot engage and interact with the non-indigenous traders who are agents of the defunct commodity marketing boards. So the marketing, all the vehicles you see on the road carrying agricultural commodities, they are middlemen, they are baranda. There are some places where the demand for such markets is inadequate. It is a baranda that locates where we have sufficient goods that is being desired. It is a baranda that organizes it and sends it to such locations. So we cannot completely eliminate them. We will find a way to work with them, as the case will be. Then on the issue of the commodity boards, because of the practices of institutions giving farmers lower than what the farmers desired, they had to abolish it and deregulated the commodity marketing systems so that it is let the market forces of demand and supply fix price, not that you are going to set up an administrative body like a commodity board to charge prices. That again too, we tried it in the past and we saw what happened. Farmers were getting prices far lower than the commodity prices at the international market for their commodities. And the differences now is not even coming to the government. The government is now going to private pockets. It was on that basis now that the commodity boards had to be abolished in 1986. So in setting up a new commodity board, let us also do that carefully, because what we have been through that way before and we saw what happened. Market, the best practice global is for the market to determine the forces that will establish the price. What you need to do now is to look and create an enabling environment for the market structure to be conducive, such as to establish the prices so that the fair price to everybody. But if you go now to eliminate them at once, we may run.
Welcome back from that short break, dear listener. And if you are just joining us, you are listening to Perspectives on Agate Radio, 95.5 Star FM, Makurdi. Our discussion this morning is focused on setting agenda on the agriculture sector in Nigeria. And you can also participate by calling in on 0814-335-9292. The number once again is 0814-335-9292. Once you connect with us, we will be interested in knowing your full name and where you are calling from. Then keep your submission very brief. Good morning and welcome to Perspectives.
Good morning. My name is Godwin Abu. I'm calling from Industrial Layout here in Makurdi.
Okay, good to have you here, Godwin Abu.
Yes, I'm thank all for guests. And this question, I want to ask the administration, our crops have been wasted.
Godwin, hello, Godwin. Yes. The network seems to be breaking. Kindly change your position so that we'll hear you very well.
Okay, yes, I have changed.
Yes, go ahead.
I want to question.
Yes, go ahead.
I want to ask Prof a question. You see, the past administration, our crops have been wasting, our tomatoes, our oranges, our mangoes for the past administration. So what is he going to do in this administration? I think this is the first time we are having a professor as Commissioner for Agriculture Ministry doing. What is their what is their support? They want to support the little one we are doing in Benue State, because he talk of a tractor. that the governor is buying tractor or is purchasing tractor silently? If it is buying silently, is it when they bought it that they will give it to the farmers, or how? What are they planning concerning the chemical? It's like last time, the chemical they supply in Benue State, they say they are going to give farmers. Many of us could not afford it. Many of us could not get access to it. I don't understand what is going on. And he said something that struck my heart. He said anytime that is coming from Boku, once he drop at Yandi, he will see how the oranges, all the tomatoes, the mangoes are waiting there. What is his effort as a commissioner for agriculture? And what is effort? Is it taking the message to the governor of Benue State so that the farmers, the little they are doing, the little they are suffering, they are harvesting will not be wasted?
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Godwin.
I will be listening for it.
Thank you. Yeah, listen, we appreciate you for phoning in. We engage with more persons. We'll be noting your concerns. If we don't respond to them immediately, we'll definitely respond. Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Nathaniel.
Thank you for joining us on Perspectives.
I am called Natu Abraham. I'm calling from Masi, along Makudi Aledi route.
All right.
Particularly kilometer 35.
Go ahead, Todue.
Okay, I would like to speak briefly about 3 or so matters. I want to comment about the issue of other states taking over, and they are unfounded. It is not true. It's just that some people are just assuming that they have taken over, they are overtaking Benue, as the commissioner was rightly saying. If you look at the population of Benue State, everybody in Benue State is a farmer. The names, the big shots you have in Benue, we are also farmers. Everybody in Benue State is farmer. But if you go to Niger State, it's not everybody that is a farmer to start with.
But you have not been to Niger State to agree to make that submission. And also to make it your submission that everybody in Benue State is a farmer is also a sweeping generalization you are making. So just speaking on a way that we know you are making your points on that.
But you will also agree with me that most of us are farmers, at least for that. Okay,
Todue, go ahead. Make your points and conclude, please.
So I want to align with the profession, the commissioner, that those things that those people are saying is just an assumption. They are just assuming that they will overtake Benue. But I also want to say that is a challenge. We should also look inward and see how we will. And when he was talking about dry season farming, I wish that we have a lot of rivers and streams that are waterlogged for a long period of time. Say, for instance, like in my own case, I am living by a river, a stream. There is a lot of water that stays in that stream for a long time, even during the dry season. If they can extend some of those their machineries, even down to the local communities, okay, I think we will do a better dry season farming than focusing on the big rivers only.
Okay, Todue, thank you. We appreciate you. I'm sorry, we have to let you go at this point because we need to also engage with other persons who are waiting on the line. Thank you for your opinion. Good morning. Welcome to Perspectives. Hello, move away from your radio set, please. I'm sorry, once you connect to the studio, you have to move away from your radio set or turn down its volume. That's the only way we can hear ourselves speak quite effectively. Good morning.
Okay.
Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Welcome to Perspectives.
Thank you. I'm calling you from Otukpo.
Okay, what is the name and which part of Otukpo are you reaching us from? Thank you. Inalegu, go ahead.
Okay, go ahead. My question is for the Honorable Commissioner. Hello, good morning, sir. Honorable Commissioner, sir.
Good morning, my brother.
I know you. Thank you. Okay, it's all right.
Okay, let's stay on the way that all Nigerians will understand us. There's diversity.
Go ahead.
Inalegu, go ahead.
I want to respond to the last caller and what the Commissioner said on your questions on Niger State has taken over from Benue.
Inalegu.
Yes, sir.
Yes, on this program, we don't allow callers to respond to callers. We allow the guests to respond to the callers.
Okay.
Just make your submission. Don't respond to the
Okay,
callers.
let me make my submission this
Very
way.
Well, beautiful.
Okay, make my submission that Niger State has taken over Benue, and the response of the Honorable Commissioner, I'm not satisfied with that response. You know, Benue State is a food basket of Nigeria. It is known worldwide. And we expect that when the commissioner or when this government took over, we criticized the previous government. Now, when this government took over, we expect the government to start a revolutionary programs that we will know that he moving are patient farmer who gathers their crops and they are selling to the district. It is not from the government. So we expect a government to their to make a kind of programs that will revolutionize agricultural should drive the agricultural program in conjunction with the commissioner. Bring out a program. Let's bring modern way of more so that we can have agricultural revolution in Benue. Because indeed, if you said Niger State has not taken over from Benue, I think we might be deceiving ourselves, because I know what is happening in Niger. If you go to some of the local government, some agricultural mechanized farming is going on there. But what we have in Benue is patient farming. People farming small and bringing it together and sell to the balanders. That is not how to drive it. We should do modern farming, and it is the Minister of Agriculture that should do this drive.
Thank you.
That is my contribution. Thank you.
We appreciate your contribution, Inalego. Thank you very much for calling in. Okay, so Inalego, well, we'll come to that, Honorable Commissioner. You will definitely respond to all of this. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Thank you for joining us.
Apostle Achimijue Godwin calling from Ogbaji, local government.
Okay, Achimijue, your radio set is close to you and your volume is high. Could you move away? So
All right, I'm
you?
coming. Let me do an adjustment.
Yes.
Is that okay?
Beautiful. Go on.
All right, I am very happy Panelists greeting you from Ogbaji.
Achimi, you have introduced yourself.
Good morning,
Go
sir.
ahead.
Yes, so now I want to make a point in this way.
Yes, sir.
The reason why we are having problem in the agricultural sector on the mechanized farming is because we have no road in our own communities. There are many communities that we have many dilapidated farm increase that is dilapidating farm crops like yam, cassava. For people to take them to the market square to sell it. So, Honorable Commissioner Star, Reverend Father Hyson, here the governor of the state, that the road from our own side here, from Adoka to Oblivu to go, that the food are dilapidating, and it's not good. And you are the commissioner, so now please, I am begging you, my apology, that you should try to talk to the governor. The road from Adoka to Oblivu to Ogoli need to be reconstructed. Thank you, God.
Thank you very much, Achimi. We appreciate you for calling in. Okay, feeder roads. Achimi wants the feeder road in his community to be constructed so as to address food security issues. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for joining us on Perspectives.
This is the voice of Isaac, aka Tojuki, calling from Aganto Gate.
Isaac, safe. Go ahead. We're listening to you.
I thank the commissioner and the past. My first question is that they are doing mechanized farming in other states, and in Benue State here is very hard because maybe they have been doing it somewhere, but in my locality there is nothing of that nature because we have no inputs like fruit seeds. We have no fruit seeds in our area. The local guys that we do farm, my ancient father do farm that I'm still farming. They don't yield. Secondly, this land issue, like the rice I farm, I didn't bring anything home. They have destroyed everything. Though there is a little improvement, the governor have tried. So I'm appealing that you should try more so that we have a relative peace in Benue and continue our farm work because I'm not a government worker.
59292 0814-335-9292. That's the line to participate on the program. Good morning. Welcome to the program.
This is Alade TV from Akpili, Makodi.
Go ahead, TV.
I want to appreciate what the panel for the topic of today. And the area where I want to comment is that, okay, now, when we were listening to news, we were listening to the governor did this, governor did this, governor did for farmers. And, okay, for farmers to have access to have access of that items and start working is very difficult. Sometimes they will come to our houses and come and take our data and say in group, this is what the government is going to do to us. Then after that, after taking our data, then we want to hear that government doing this and it's not reaching to us. I don't know what to do because they mentioned a lot of structure that the governor is already on ground that a majority of us who are not getting access to it. They will be going from villages to another village to go and supervise all these things because we only heard that governor brought this thing for farmers. We are not getting access to it. Thank you, sir.
Mechanize equipment, the tractor. You're hearing from real farmers. Good morning.
Good morning. Nathaniel, is Zaki Felix. I'm calling you from the local government.
Okay, good to have you join us, Zaki.
My regards to the guests in the house.
Thank you. Which part of Logo are you reaching us from, by the way?
I'm calling you in Turan. I'm from Turan part of the local government.
Very well.
The fact remains that Benue State is gradually losing her status as a food basket of the nation. That could largely be attributed to the continuing attacks on our people by armed Fulani herdsmen. Especially
for this program, we avoid calling any particular group. It could be armed persons, could be any person in Nigeria at all. So
by militia herdsmen, especially during rainy season. But because, as you are all aware, it is always during the rainy season that the Fulani herdsmen move to Benue to graze. But if the state government put machineries in place to encourage dry season farming, as one of the guests there was emphasizing, I think we will surely regain our lost status as a food basket of the nation. You know that during dry season, you see many farmers, they don't even go to their farms. Once the rainy season is over, they wait for the next season. So I'm suggesting that the state government should expand this dry season farming to most of these our rural areas. I heard the Honorable Commissioner for Agri said there are some places that practice this dry season farming, like in Makodi and some other parts. It will surprise you that I do cross in River Buruku and River Benue at the Buruku crossing point.
That's true.
You see, we have a very big land here. As I'm speaking to you, nothing is happening there. And look at the river in Buruku. Look at the land just beside the river, and nothing is happening. If we go to, I was privileged to go to Niger State, and to my greatest surprise, in fact, I was ashamed of myself calling my own state as a food basket of the nation because of what I saw there. You could see a very large farm during dry season. If you go to Niger, you can't differentiate between dry season and rainy season because it's always farming all through.
Thank you very much.
So I appeal that the state government should, as such provision of tractors, there's a lot to do to boost agriculture.
All right.
It's not all about provision of tractors. They can still sink boreholes for our peoples in the rural areas.
Thank you.
And
Thank you, Zaki. I'm sorry. We have to let you go. Thank you very much for making your points quite elaborately. Commissioner, this is coming from real people because it does appear our discussion earlier. Hello, good morning.
Yeah.
Hello. Commissioner say, no. Hello, good morning. You're on, but your voice is not coming through. Quite unfortunate, we're not able to get through to you. Anyway, we'll allow you to respond to the call. Good morning. Thank you for joining us on Perspectives.
Happy New Year to you and the commissioner in the house.
I'm not here alone. I'm not here with the commissioner alone. Thank you for joining us. May we know your name?
Okay. I'm from Turan, from my local government of Benue State.
All right. Go ahead, Hyacinth.
What happened in agriculture policy in Benue State? Go to the right of inputs. It's another major thing. You can hear that the inputs are put in place, but to disperse them to various funds that are supposed to benefit or rather make use of it, it's always delayed. Such I'm suggesting with the agriculture department or ministry that they should either designate places that are flat phones, especially now that it's dry farming period now. They should know some strategic points. So that is one of my reasons why I'm calling you here again. Again, I wish how
your network is really very terrible. We are struggling to get your points.
Oh, you're not getting my point there.
Yes.
Okay.
All the same, we appreciate you. Thank you. Your point is noted, except you have something more to add. Otherwise,
I'd more to add. In as much as I'm saying the former agricultural service centers should be open, so that each and every combined goals should have their own development area for agricultural purposes.
Okay.
So that if it's going near and the farmers will actually map the farming more quicker than far away.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Eda for your contribution. We appreciate you for calling in, even though we didn't get most of the part of it. But I think you were talking about farming inputs and the service sector.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning. Welcome to Perspectives.
Yeah, good morning, Nathaniel. This is Agatha Paul at Chusabako Baptist High School program, and I want to use this opportunity to appreciate the Executive Governor of Benue State, Dr. Hyacinth Benue Mem Alia, for introducing the security to understand the meaning of Anyamyo.
Paul, we are not talking about Anyamyo. We are talking about agriculture. Maybe
that is where I'm heading.
No, but maybe when we are focusing on security, we could discuss Anyamyo.
But for today, let me go to where I'm
agriculture.
Heading.
Yes.
So now, the reason why we have a food crisis in the state is because of insecurity. But now that the security has been boosted, I believe by next year we'll have abundance of food in the state. And government should try by bringing up strategies to dry season farming, so that we have a lot of borehole, and then farmers will get access to water their crops during dry season, so that we have abundance of food in Benue.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Paul. We appreciate you for calling in. Okay, let's stay temporarily on the course and come back. We'll begin with the concern raised by Godwin Zegeya. Commissioner, most of these were directed to you. And Godwin Zegeya, who called in from Industrial Layout, talked about so many things. Farm inputs, access to processing facilities, even the tractors you alleged, or you said Alade, who called in from Ogbaji, talked about the same issues of non-availability of mechanized farming facilities, and in your opinion that they are available. Well, how come? These are, according to them, they are farmers and they are not seeing them.
Okay, I will
react to it.
It's my day. Thank you very much. I like the enthusiasm shown in this program.
Yes.
The enthusiasm shown in agriculture. I'm very happy with this. Mr. Godwin talked about wastages.
Yes.
At the beginning of my appearance here, I said it, that we are going to now focus more on processing to stop wastages. And this, I have already briefed His Excellency about it, that our target this year should be how to improve processing. So, Mr. Godwin should hold on and wait and see what we do at the end of this year. Then he will report back. He talked of a lack of tractors. Please, even when we are talking of no tractors, there are tractors. Those who have formed cooperative societies have gotten tractors. You don't stay at home and then you get a tractor. You form a cooperative society and then you apply. And then you be given a tractor. He said there are no chemicals. That one, I strongly disagree with him. All the divisional agric offices in Benue State, whichever local government it is, has enough chemicals. And there are cheap prices. None is selling more than 3,000 a bottle, a liter. Whereas it's been sold at over 5,000 in the market. Even he can take a walk to my office. If he needs cartons of chemicals today, he will get. So we have enough chemicals, both in Makurdi and in the divisional officers. If he needs a trailer of fertilizers, urea and NPK, he will get. That is about Godwin. We are trying to stop wastages. You should please relax. Then to Mr. Todue of taking over, I agree with him strongly. Niger State has not taken over Benue State. And I call on Benue State people, my fellow Benue State people, to be more patriotic. Let's continue to protect our own. Niger State, they are blowing their drums that they have taken over. It's left for us to be also say, you have not taken over. Because as of today,
will it stop at just saying you have not
there is no empirical evidence
with no actions?
There is no empirical evidence. That is what I'm telling you.
If we say, I used an example, for instance, like the tractors. Okay, maybe how many tractors have your government provided? The Niger State government assembled over 200 that we saw in the field. They were shown on live television.
Well, you are so particular about these 200 tractors, so I would
no,
not
no,
be
it's
talking
not,
about
but it's just an example, because it doesn't stop with us saying with West that they have not taken over when they're...
Excuse me, as a farmer, if you are not a farmer...
But I just put it to you. No, tractors serve the farmers. The farmers are complaining that...
The fact that Niger State has 200 tractors has not made them to take over the food basket status of Nigeria. That is the point. I use tractors and I farm large hectares of land in my place. There was a time I had at the government level and come and be a big #1 farmer in this place. I worked alone on the farm.
Subsistence farming to commercial farming.
I have said that we are on top of the situation. We have made arrangements to have more tractors.
Okay. And
the governor is on top of this situation. There will be more tractors. But tractors necessarily, I emphasize 10 times as a professor of crop production, does not translate to being the leader of farming or being the one that we are the food basket of the nation because you have more tractors. I can prove this and over. It's how you use the tractors that is important.
Okay.
But you are not to ask questions again. I'm to ask and to answer the ones they have asked me.
Yes.
You know, Lego Abraham.
Yes.
He said, the ways that we have gone in impulse. Yes. He said, I agree with him. He said that we should revolutionize agriculture. I agree with him that we're going to do that. It's going to be more apparent in the coming years. In the last year, I regret to say that we started from square zero. But you will say we started from 50%, but I can report to you that we started agriculture from zero level. And to reach this level, I'm very proud. But we are going to revolutionize agriculture in such a way that there will be tractors, there will be machines, and people will see.
Okay. Look, I beg to interrupt you. We have many persons itching to contribute. Let's engage with more of them. I'll come back to you. Just a moment. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Thank you for joining us on Perspectives.
Yes. My name is Mr. Jairus Otumala.
Good to have you join us, Jairus.
Calling
Where
from
you?
high level.
Okay. Go ahead.
Thank you so much for this topic.
You're welcome.
And my greeting to our two guests. They have done well. Doing very well. Really appreciate them. You see, when the Niger State said they have taken over food basket of the nation, yes, they claim to say so. But look at it this way. If the trailer of yam that is moving out of Benue every day is so produced by the patient farmer who use only hoe and cutlass, my brother, we still challenge the Niger that they have not gone far. Because they say they have contractors. Yes, they have contractors. But how many loads of yam is going out of the Niger every day? As we are seeing here in Benue State. So we still say that if we can add a little, as we are begging our government, say, please give us small contractor then we are both everybody, nobody, even near Benue State, in terms of food agriculture.
Okay.
As we used to know that as a food basket of the nation.
All right.
So, my Honorable Commissioner, sir, all what we are receiving today, it is the people's demand, it's the people's request, it's the people's desire that they need this, they need this, they need that. Compile everything as a report and submit to the governor.
All right.
Tell him that this is what people want. Please provide this for my people, so that by next year, if I should go back to the studio, I can able to tell the people of Benue that this is what we have done this year. This year must be better than last year.
All right. Thank you very much,
That is always our prayer.
Thank you.
So, Mr. Commissioner, sir, another area, sir, when you look at the way they handle agriculture, about how many bureau have been created out of ministry to enhance the productivity of agriculture in Benue State, you now know that they have done a lot. 2 or 3 bureaus have been created out, handled by the Director General, who are now working day in, day out to increase the productivity of the product of agriculture in Benue State. You now know that, yes, Benue is very, very far, not as people are rating us or are rating the ministry that the ministry has not done or the governor has not put much into agriculture.
Jairus, thank you. Thank you. I'm sorry, we'll have to let you go. You have, which is why you are also on the panel to hear from Benue people real time their expectations in the agriculture sector. So we appreciate you for your.
This is Umasi Austin calling from Naka. Naka is very fine. I meant on the topic of discussion.
Yes.
You know, Benue State is still the food basket of the nation, irrespective of the fact that the government of Niger State have purchased enough tractors. Benue State is the food basket of the nation because the land that Benue State have owned is very, very fertile. So I advise that the commissioner in the house there should at least transfer this message to the governor. They should try and put on irrigation facilities so that farming activities will be carried out in Benue State year in, year out, so that no other state will be competing with us. We are the food basket of the nation, and we will remain in the food basket of the nation. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Austin. We appreciate you. Thanks for calling in. Okay, Commissioner, conclude your thoughts. You were reacting to some were not direct questions anyway, but you were just making general reactions. So
Number
just
4.
react to the. Let's conclude and move to other issues.
Number 4, Joel talked of no roads. Ram, we're expecting money to come from rural agricultural roads. This is a body under the Ministry of Agriculture that handles rural roads.
We read in the news that the World Bank is
be released, so we have not commenced work. Very soon, all these roads that he's talking about will be handled.
Okay.
Isaac, we are adding mechanized farming to Benue State. I agree with him. Farmer had that crisis, a problem, agreed. And the government has tried. I agree with you, sir.
All right.
Teve, farmer, check with the inputs. Teve is a complainer of inputs.
Yes.
Check with the divisional agri officers in your local government. If you have any problem, report directly to me. Logo Benue State losing out. That is not true. We are not losing out. We are still the food basket of nation.
Okay.
Hyacinth.
Anyway,
lack of inputs. Please go to Hyacinth, Mr. Hyacinth. Go to your divisional agri office and ask for any input that you want to do for farming. If you do not have, please come to the Minister of Agriculture. I will sponsor your transport.
Okay. Hello. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Thank you for joining us on Perspectives.
Yes.
Okay, which part of Makudi?
High level to be precise.
Good.
Yeah, I want to ask the question. The Honorable Commissioner there did mention that there are tractors that are available in the Ministry of Agriculture. That somebody wants to apply, should go from a cooperative. There used to be a department or Benue State hiring agent under the Ministry of Agriculture there, where people used to go and hire tractors. What happens to that ministry or department that used to handle tractor affairs? And if we are talking with people and are listening, we should be precise in what we are trying to say. Niger State government, both tractors, almost 1,000 tractors from what we heard. How many tractors did Benue State buy? And if somebody wants to apply for tractor, where will he want him to go to and apply?
Okay. Thank you, Tewase. We appreciate you. I just at the point when I wanted to establish that we should move away from the issue of Niger State, Tewase is bringing up Niger State tractor issue again. But Commissioner, you listen to him, so let me allow you to respond to him briefly, just briefly, so that we can move on. Where to apply?
The tractor hiring agency called Benta is now defunct.
Yes.
Now it's under the new bureau created, the former, to be precise, the former Benada. So that body now is under the former Bureau of Agricultural Mechanization and this thing. So if you want to know about tractors, you go to the former Benada and ask.
Okay.
Please.
So your ministry have no direct control on that anymore, or is the bureau not attached to your ministry?
The bureau is under the control of the governor. Any bureau at all is under the control of His Excellency the Executive Governor.
Okay, but so is there no synergy between your ministry?
There is a
and
synergy between us. Yes. All the bureaus will meet regularly. I act as their boss somehow, and we supervise what they are doing.
Okay. He also wants to know the number of tractors available, but I had asked you that earlier, but
I will not be able to know.
Okay.
But I know that, like in this Acrisal, we commission 100 Acrisal.
No. The information in public domain did not show 100. It was 33 or so. If I'm correct, you may prove me wrong. Yeah, what was read in the news wasn't
what was submitted to me
number.
Was 50 in the first instance, and to another 50 coming in the second instance. So they told me of 100. What they wrote to me.
Okay. Well, that is established. Let's take a few messages. Professor Abu, we'll come to you. So sorry to keep you listening as if you are not a panelist, but some of knowledge, innovation, and technology driven. Here, what we keep hearing most times year in, year out, for a majority hand to hoe. Farmers farming is government distributing fertilizers and chemicals. We can't keep doing the same thing and expect improved results. Thank you. Gabriel Ngilo from Occupy Extension in Makudi. Gabriel, thank you. We'll try to make sense of your message. Quite complicated, but thank you all the same. This one says, good day, the presenter and guest in the studio. I believe that if the tractors are available in our communities like Goma, Agatu, Gwe West, where farmers live there for long, it will help them to boost the status of Benue food basket of the nation. In addition, government should build more storage warehouses across the 23 local government areas to avoid post-harvest wastages. Finally, government should revive agricultural extension offices to draw inputs and facilities closer to the rural dwellers for easy accessibility. Okay, well, we can't take that because there's no name to it. So, no, okay. Another one here says, good morning, Agate Radio. This is from my WhatsApp box anyway. Good morning, Agate Radio and the Commissioner in the House. Insecurity is one of the major causes of food shortage in Benue State. If this issue is addressed, Benue will now regain its appellation as a food basket of the nation. I want to use this medium to call on the Commissioner to start the distribution of farm inputs before the rainy season set in. I am Kwaza Vincent from North Bank in Makudi. Back to you shortly. Good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, good morning. This is Uja Jude from Makudi.
Uja Jude, which part of Makudi are you reaching us from?
I'm calling from North Bank right away.
Go ahead. Good.
Yes. Talking about Niger State as a food basket. Niger State cannot be the food basket for now. You understand?
Well, that's not our debate, Jude. We have moved away from that debate anyway. So just make your points on how to improve the fortunes of agriculture itself to one thing.
Increase the seed for the farmers to get it in the cheap rate. And talking about the tractor, when you bring the tractor now, don't complaining.
People. Citizens are entitled to grumble. Hello, Jude. Hello, Jude. Jude, are you there? Okay, citizens are entitled to complain when they feel like complaining. So to say that Benue people are used to complaining about everything would not be right. Let's be sensitive to the feelings of citizens, right?
Apologize to that.
Beautiful.
Yes, I've been to Niger and I've stayed in Benue. The cost of sesame seed in Benue State is lower than Niger State. That is where you will know where they have enough food. Like in Benue State, even the yam load of trucks that is leaving Benue State every day, you can't get it in any way in state. And we are using our local farmers. They are farming. The only thing that the state needs is to increase the security aspect. Like in all the loopholes where those herdsmen are coming into the Benue State, so that people will farm, go to their farm. We are not even used to mechanized farming, used to local farming. And they farm very well and we produce many goods. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Joe. We appreciate you for calling in. That will be the last call we take because our time is really not there. And if you say we are not used to mechanized farming, that is why agriculture world over is moving to mechanized farming. So Benue cannot afford to lag behind, Jude. But that's okay. Professor Abu, you have listened to the callers. Let me have a summary of your reactions to their interest in the subject of agriculture briefly. Then we'll address a few issues and draw our concluding thoughts.
Yeah, thank you. A lot of concerns had been raised, but in summing it all is to say that going forward, we need innovation, we need technology, we need inclusivity, and all this will address the specific challenges for the sector. Tractor, it is to address a need, and all these two will be. The tractor we're talking about, is it the 70-year-old man that's going to operate it? No. It is the youths that have left the system. The essence of mechanization, it is to make agriculture attractive. Consequently, we're also going to, closely related to the issues of tractorization, is also youth empowerment, youth women, issues of finance. If government is saying that students should be given loans in the university to study, then what more of individuals, farmers who are producing food? Farmers also need finance. As it stands, smallholder farmers, in all this, everything can be available as long as the financial arrangement is not enough for farmers now to have disposable income in procurement of these items. It will not work. So critical rural finance too is very important. I have traveled extensively in Southeast Asia. In Southeast Asia, farmers, aside the central bank, the next strongest bank is the Bank of Agriculture in those communities. So, and in our climb here, we understand that in the time past, government made effort to make people who benefited when. So, for whatever reason, government is reluctant. We need to also address issues of finance to farmers. The issues of insurance. Our farmers also require insurance. And the rural infrastructure, I'm sure we have talked about it extensively. So all these are the issues too that are complementary to all the issues that the callers have been concerned with.
Okay, now speak to us how the government can promote agricultural entrepreneurship and innovation among young people.
Fine, by first capacity building. Building the capacity, you see, anything you do, even our brothers, it is a product of mistakes and improvement. So we need first and foremost that capacity building. Before now, it is the requirement for those entrepreneurs to emerge that we have vocational centers. And those vocational centers, we need to go back to them again. I think that I can recall there's one around Otubide, there's one at Battery. We need to go back in there again. It is from there that all these business models can first and foremost be conceptualized and given effects to. Closely related to issues of the capacity building is access to inputs like finance. There's no entrepreneur that will not require or that will be able to do all those investments from his personal savings. Consequently, there will be need to institutional support. And for a business of agriculture, you cannot loan to agricultural sector at the prevailing interest rates. It must be at concessional rates. We are also mindful of the fact that people who are not in the sector may come and take advantage to take such loans and take it elsewhere. But again, too, government will have to, or the regulators will have to do so much. Then the market, entrepreneurs needs to know exactly the market they are operating, which of the segment they are operating. For instance, now export. Export is a huge potential. What do you call it? Yes, export has a lot of opportunities. Now, why are we focusing on domestic markets when we know the general best practices that can meet the export markets? Entrepreneurs now, capacities now need to be tailored towards such initiatives, and if done, then we will also be expanding the scope of the market as the case will be. Then cooperative development. Cooperatives, as it stands, a lot of our cooperatives are formed, and the capacities for those cooperatives to function, and this again too will help in the emergence of entrepreneurs that we're talking about.
Okay, we really do not have time anymore, but I'll allow you, Professor Ogbaji, Commissioner, speak to us in terms of access to credit facilities, loans and grants, or what is available for farmers in your ministry, or what is the government doing in this area in general?
Please, farmers should please note this, that there is already a 2 billion naira from the Agricultural Development Bank available for farmers.
Okay.
They should please, we are registering them now in the Ministry of Rural Development and Cooperatives. Each cooperative society should be made up of 15 members with the officials, chairman, secretary, treasurer. Submit same to the commissioner immediately. The money is already here. So, like I said, the government is doing a lot to empower farmers. And this is the latest in town.
Okay, this 2 billion you talked about, are you already disbursing it?
Not yet.
The facility is a loan.
It's a loan.
Yes. So help the farmers, Benue farmers, understand how they can access this loan.
That is what I have just said, sir.
Yes.
They will form cooperative society made up of 15 members and submit the same form to minister.
Your colleague.
Yes. That is where they were submitting the forms. And we met even 2 days ago on this matter. So the money is already here, like she said. So farmers should make efforts to access this money so that they can farm. I want to report to you.
Yes, briefly.
There is another fund that has even come. I'm not supposed to say all this. But
if you don't avail the people the information, how would they?
IGPs are now going to be involved in farming. And His Excellency is making efforts to access that money so that IGPs will be involved in agricultural development right at their camp. That one is another group. They will form cooperative societies too. All the IGPs will now be involved in agriculture.
Okay, let me have your concluding thoughts in 30 seconds.
Okay. Well, we have all seen the budget of this year. It's a budget of human capital development, food security, I repeat, food security and digital economy. Even when His Excellency did not highlight agriculture in last year's budget, he did a lot in agriculture. This year, he has highlighted, he brought agriculture to the forefront. He has recognized agriculture as the lowest hanging fruit for the economic emancipation of Benue State. I think better days are ahead for farmers.
Okay. Professor Abu.
Yes.
Let me have your concluding thoughts as we step into, we are already in the new year.
So
what are the strategic areas government should focus on in the agriculture sector?
Yeah, the strategic areas, we've talked about it, the commodity markets needs to be improved upon. We need to build develop completely the value chains. Crop insurance, we also need to improve upon it. We also talk about finance, and the use of innovation and technology. We need to deploy it. This deployment now is no longer at the level at the research stations, not longer at pilot testing, but on farmers level. That's what we need at the moment. That is the only way we can go now to manage the current food inflation we're experiencing.
Professor Moses Ogbaji is a Commissioner for Agriculture and Food Security in Benue State. He joined us here on Perspectives, which will set agenda on the agriculture sector. Thank you very much, Commissioner, for coming on the program.
Thank you very much, sir. It's my pleasure.
Professor Godwin Abu is an agricultural economist at the JOSTUM University, Makurdi. Thank you very much, Prof, for your time.
It's a pleasure being here.
Dear listener, that's our program today. Join us Friday for a fresh edition. I am Nathaniel Nongu. Have yourself a great Wednesday.